The Stanford Cardinal always peak for the postseason, and that means their time may be right now. Led by the powerful Elizabeth Price, the only athlete named Gymnast of the Week 4 times, Cardinal scores have been climbing. Redshirt senior Ivana Hong is once again healthy and may be the most consistent gymnast on the team. Add it all up, and it means that the Cardinal are ready. But so are the Washington Huskies. Allison Northey leads a group of overachievers out of the rainy Northwest, coming off a season-high score and a victory over a top 10 foe. And the Gym Dogs also have home floor on their side. That's sure to help the cause. The Pac-12 Gymnastics Championship begins right now from Seattle, live on the Pac-12 Network. Whether you're the captain or the crew, Seattle is a place where your place at the top must be earned. Today, inside Alaska Airlines Arena, 18th Battle for Dominance. It's session 1 of the Pac-12 Gymnastics Championships. Over 100 gymnasts, all reaching for one shiny prize and their place in history. That's what it's all about today. This is team gymnastics. It's not about the individuals until you come to us on camera. Hi everybody, Jim Watson and the Olympic gold medalist Amanda Borden, and welcome to Seattle. After 4 months on the road, we're finally all in the same place at the same time. Amanda, Stanford is our early favorite today because Stanford is following the same script. They're peaking for the playoffs, and Stanford also has not one, but 2 big-time stars.
That's right, 2 of the best probably in this building. Ivana Hung and Elizabeth Price. They are strong all the way around, and both are rallying at the end of this season. Hong is on 3 events today and is one of the most consistent gymnasts out there. And of course, Elizabeth Price ranked number 3 in the all-around, but in my opinion, she is the best gymnast in the country. Head coach Kristen Smith said these 2 are the heart, the confidence, the power, and the artistry. They are definitely the 1-2 punch for Stanford, and they're needed here today.
The Pac-12 Championships have been held here in Seattle twice before, and Stanford won them both. But while Stanford might have history on its side, Washington has the house. Home floor advantage, their best team in a decade, and they're coming off their best meet of the season. They beat the number 10 team last week right here, Denver. They're also led by the pride of the Emerald City, Allison Northey.
Well, she is the only senior on this team, and while she's been a consistent rock her entire career, this year she's gained momentum in the last part of the season. She's competed all around in every single meet. She's continued to get better every single meet. She's ranked 15th in the country, and most importantly, she's going to be anchoring Washington on 2 of their best events, the balance beam and floor exercise.
Northey has been performing like the leader, 19 wins for her. It's the most important meet of the season, which means it's the best meet of the year for the fans. The Pac-12 Gymnastics Championships, live from Seattle, only on the Pac-12 Network. Elizabeth Price, how did she get so good so fast?
She's been great from the beginning. She's a tremendous athlete.
Price is good on everything. She's great on bars.
She's one of the best vaulters. Hugely powerful. Oh, man!
Got it!
Come on! We see her do near-perfect gymnastics all the time.
Elizabeth Price, the sophomore from Coopersburg, Pennsylvania, is the reigning Pac-12 uneven bars champion. She is ranked number 3 in the country right now in the all-around. She's 6th on the vault, and that is where Stanford will begin its afternoon. Here is the format for today's split competition. Remember, 4 this morning and 4 later tonight. But the highest score from either session will win the Pac-12 Championship. 4 rotations, we're going Olympic order, and as I mentioned, Stanford begins on the vault. It's a good event for Stanford. They're ranked number 12 in the country. Stanford is ranked number 19 overall. Well, it's always great to have all the big names and the big faces on the same floor at the same time, including 2-time champion from last year, Sam Peshek. Sam, good to see you back on the floor.
Thanks, Jim. It's great to be back. There is something about a Pac-12 Championships arena that is unforgettable. There is so much energy, not only from the teams, but from the fans, because they know today anything is possible. Take Stanford, for example. They uncharacteristically dropped to the lower end of the conference, but they have the talent, and they've already shown they can beat top-ranked teams. So they are the team to beat in this session. However, when I was observing practice yesterday, not just Stanford, but all the teams competing today are a little bit more polished and a little bit more focused. And you want to know why, Jim? It's postseason, baby.
Absolutely, and you know, Sam won both the beam and the all-around championship last year. Now she's part of our team. Stanford coming off a double win over number 7 UCLA and number 9 Georgia, in which they posted a season-high 197-4. Washington is also coming off its best score of the year. They just beat number 10 Denver and Seattle Pacific in this building and put up a 196-660. They went 49 on all 4. The other 2 teams in this session not to be overlooked. Arizona under first-year head coach Tabitha Yim. Well, they just beat BYU, and they posted a season best, 196-850. They won all 4 events, and Arizona State is still a top 50 team with all the issues and all the problems. The Sun Devils still can be a threat today. So Stanford begins on the vault, Arizona on the bars, Washington on the beam, and Arizona State on the floor. No team has won more championships than UCLA. They will be in action later tonight with the top seed Utah and Oregon State. And crashing the party is California. California might be the biggest threat for the upset, but that's later tonight. We begin with our first 4, the Gym Cats, the Gym Devils, the Gym Dogs, and the Stanford Cardinal, live from Seattle. Three of the 4 teams in session 1 are ranked in the top 21 in the country. Washington is number 17, Stanford 19, Arizona is 21, and Arizona State is number 50 in the country. Stanford begins on the vault. Washington begins on the toughest of the 4 apparatus, that is the balance beam, but that happens to be Washington's best event, where they're number 15. Ivana Hong is the veteran leader of this team, but the grit is Taylor Rice, the senior from Las Vegas. The vault has not been one of her best events this year. Only 3 scores over 9/8 and comes up short on the opening effort.
The teams are just finishing their warm-ups, but I think what we're going to be watching for from Stanford on the vault is the upgraded vault. The Yurchenko full was downgraded to a 995 start value, so there are 2 athletes in this lineup with potential to add a little more difficulty and, of course, a higher score, and that's going to be important in this first rotation.
So watching Taylor Rice's first warm-up, she comes up short. Is the tendency now to over-rotate?
Well, I think they know how important the Yurchenko full, they have to stick the vaults, and I think that's what she was doing in the warm-up. The good news is when you compete, there's an added element of adrenaline, so I think Taylor's a very competitive gymnast, and they're going to count on her to be as perfect as possible as well.
Kristen Smith, Stanford head coach in her 15th season. She has taken the Cardinal to the NCAAs in 12 of her 15 years. Pac-12 Coach of the Year 4 times and a National Coach of the Year 4 times as well. All right, here once again is Taylor Rice, and this time it counts. Takes a deep breath and tries to put that last warm-up out of her mind. Can't be short.
Yurchenko layout full. We saw her come up short. This time, much better.
Taylor Rice can be hot or cold in meets, and we've seen her put 4 excellent performances together and win all rounds in the past. She begins with a smile on her face. And now talking to Ivana Hong, says, hey, some nights I have it, some nights I don't. Maybe this will be a good one. Kennedy Schneider begins for Arizona. Arizona starts on the bars, where Arizona is ranked number 23. We'll have lots of changes today. Arizona has already tweaked its lineup. Kennedy Schneider, a multi-talented gymnast. She was only scheduled to go in floor, added very late here to the bars.
I think that always keeps us on our toes, but that's the story of the Pac-12. There is more depth in these lineups. Oh, and a tough start here. Opening combination to the Ginger, and she just came off the bar a little bit too early. These release moves so important. When they grab the bar right here, the Dow has to be over the bar. You can see hers was against the bar, and it doesn't take much. Now, remember, 6 athletes up, 5 scores count, so the pressure is going to be on now for the next 5 athletes on this team.
Kennedy's had a lot of success on this event this year. 4 times she's gone 9-8. This will not be one of those.
Always a tough part of the uneven bars when you make a mistake to regroup and finish the routine. All that's left here is the dismount. She winds up, double layout. And a good landing. What a tough start for Arizona. This has been a very consistent team, and this is a strong event for them.
So a disappointing start. Remember that 6 athletes compete on each of the events, but you only need to count 5 scores, so Arizona needs to reboot and start with their final 5. Move over to the balance beam, and the home team, the Washington Gym Dogs, and Mallory Rose. It'll be her only event, freshman from Orlando. She's been on balance beam every meet this year. Her best is a 9.875, and she's hit that number twice.
Opening a routine with a combination front aerial. She's supposed to connect that to a back element for her tumbling requirement. So she's going to dance back and give it a retry. Landing has to be solid right here so she can connect. Much better that time. That meets that tumbling requirement, which is good news on the start value. Check there. This is such a difficult event to start the competition on. It doesn't matter how good you are on the balance beam. You have adrenaline, you've made it through the march-in, the open stretch, and you're ready for competition to start. And yet you have to stay calm and do what you do every single day in practice. Solid position there on the side area.
And for any team that doesn't begin on the vault, that's normally the start of your meet, or perhaps the bars if you're the road team, starting on beam just feels different.
Finishing side aerial, full twisting dismount, and a beautiful landing. And while it maybe wasn't an absolute perfect routine, that's a great start for Washington. We talk about it all the time. You got to get the ball rolling on the balance beam.
Arizona State starts on the floor, and this is the Gym Devils' best event. Caitlin Lentz in the leadoff spot.
Few meets back, we saw her at UCLA. She had an ankle injury. They pulled her out of this event. It was the first thing I asked him, how's Caitlin's ankle, and is she back in on floor? They need her. They only have 8 athletes to choose from. Oh!
Lentz stumbles out of bounds.
Too much power.
Big deduction to start her program. Wow, you can see the nerves already. We've already seen 2 falls in our first 4 events.
Well, and remember, with Arizona State, a lot of their routines are done by freshmen. This is their very first conference championship. That deduction, of course, half of a point for the fall, as well as going out of bounds.
Caitlin has won the floor before. In fact, it came in their first meet of the year. At home against Nebraska in Bowling Green, she went 9.85. It's a tie for the title.
Setting up for the final tumbling pass. Clean double tuck to finish the set. Gosh, another tough start. I think when the very first routine of the meet comes out and makes a mistake, you know, it's just tough to rebound. So here's where the problem happened though. Double pike, and when she lands, watch her feet come all the way through. And as soon as the weight is on the heels, it's very difficult. You could see she did everything she could to fight. She tried to stay on her feet. It's just very difficult. It happened so quick. The good news is they can drop that score. So pressure is once again on the back 5 of the Arizona State lineup as well.
And we'll see Caitlin Lentz again on the bars. 9.675 opener for Taylor Rice. We've gone around once. We come back to the vault, and Stanford and Melissa Schwan. Has a couple of wins this year, but none on vault. Her best is a 9.775. She got hot on this event towards the end of the year.
Well, she had nice distance there. It looked like she came up a little bit short on the landing. When the judges watch this vault all the time, it's about height, right there. Form in the air, you can see those legs separated a little bit. The landing position, she had to pike down, and of course, the landing, the hop forward. So remembering that vault starts from a 9.95, all those deductions come from there. We've seen more scores in those 9.6, 9.7 ranges this year than ever before.
Just a 9.025 for Kennedy Schneider. They want to drop that. And Danny Spencer, second up. So Arizona has abandoned its early lineup and complete changes. Maybe it was a surprise. Maybe Tabitha Yim knew all the way along.
Well, beautiful start to this routine. The exact same release move that her teammate Kennedy just struggled on. She nailed it, and all that's left is the combination here at the end. Giant full, right on top, clean double tuck. Wow, best routine I have seen from Danny Spencer, and what a rebound from a freshman.
And the only event, at least scheduled so far, for Danny Spencer. She has 4 scores of 9.8 this year, and that might be her best of the season.
Well, she was clean start to finish. She looked so confident. And for a freshman to rebound after a major mistake is a good sign for this team.
9.625 on beam for Washington's Mallory Rose. Haley Burleson, sophomore from Nashville, North Carolina, 3 times has gone 9.825 on this event.
She is absolutely beautiful to watch on this event. Her long lines, beautiful flexibility.
Two of her best performances of the year have come in the last 2 meets.
Oh, back handspring layout, step out. We talked earlier before the meet started, and I said this is by far the deepest Pac-12 Conference Championship I feel like we're going to see today, but I also think that every team knows that they have a legitimate chance, and so we're seeing nerves, which is really common.
Yeah, never before have we seen so many teams out of the early session with a chance to finish in the top 3 and maybe even win the whole thing. Washington, best team in a decade, ranked 17th on its home floor. Arizona has been improving all season long, coming off its best meet. And Stanford, of course, is always great at the end of the season. So far, Stanford is the only team without a fall. First rotation.
Beautiful finish there. Side aerial to that full.
Joanne Bowers, 10th season as the head coach here on Montlake. With a brave smile, knows it's going to be a long day back now.
Well, here's where the struggle happened. Watch when she lands the layout. You can see her hips completely on the right side of the beam. And remember, it's only 4 inches wide. The hope at this point is that not only the team can rebound, but also Haley can rebound. They still have 3 more events.
Yeah, and Haley's going to be back for 2, and I think that's what Joanne was talking to her about. Back to the floor. Arizona State will want to scratch Caitlin Lentz's score. Corinne Belkoff now, the added pressure, no room for error. It's Ralph Rosso to the right side of your screen, the acting head coach for Arizona State.
Oh, came up a little bit short there. The exact same pass Caitlin Lentz over-rotated on. Looked like she held back on that landing. But like I mentioned, another freshman in this lineup, and we've talked about it. We've seen so much improvement and growth from this freshman class, and the reality is you got to compete at the Pac-12 Championships to know how to handle the pressure that you feel out here.
6 freshmen on the Arizona State roster, more than half of the team. Head coach Renee List is on administrative leave, so Ralph Rosso, the assistant coach, is the acting head coach. They've had injuries, they've had lineup changes, half their team teenagers still, and as Sam Pescick told you at the top of the show, this meet just has a different feel. That means it has the most pressure. Four times this year, Corinne has got 9.875 on floor.
Finishing combination there. It looks like her knees buckled a little bit on the connection. She held on to it, stayed on her feet. Not her best routine, but she fought through.
So everybody a little shaky to start. Only a 9.5 for Melissa Schwang for Stanford. Now we get to the McNair sisters, Danny and Nikki.
Well, and Danny is one of the Stanford vaulters that could do an upgrade. If she does it, it's going to be a 1.5 twist. Played it safe, went with the full, and that was a great choice.
Her best game at Arizona, a 9.825. And we'll see how kind the judges are, but this looked pretty clean, Amanda.
It was. We saw her perform the 1.5 twist at UCLA, and she sat it down. Kristen Smith wasn't sure which vault to do. Well, that was a good choice. That's clean, nice distance, height. Should be a solid score.
Best on the year is a 9.825. We'll check it when we come back around. Danny Spencer, 9.85. That is a great effort for the freshman from Scottsdale. That ties her season and career high. Mandy Cindric, scheduled next up.
Nice combination down to the low bar. This is Kristen Howard. We've had so many lineup changes for Arizona on the bars, and this has been a phenomenal routine for her. Clean, all the way through, double tuck well above the bar, opens it up, nails the landing.
Kristen Howard's going to be in action on 3 events. Tabitha Yim has completely changed the top of the order. I know a lot of coaches wait till they see warm-ups, Amanda. They'll give us one lineup, then it'll change again, and then sometimes once they get in competition, they'll tweak it one last time.
Well, that's definitely happened in that lineup because it's been a change from what we've had in both times.
Burleson fell last time on beam. Stephanie Snow now in the 3rd spot for Washington on the beam. Pro season high, 9.85 game last week, right here against number 10 Denver. She has 3 scores in a row at 9.85.
Nice combination there. Front aerial to the back handspring. Looks solid and confident. I had a chance to talk to Joanne Bowers before the competition. She said, we practiced the Pac-12 format, which means a few extra minutes between every routine, and that's important right there in that moment. She had to wait an extra 2-3 minutes before she mounted the beam. And remember, they were recovering from a fall. That is not easy to do, and that was a great job by Stephanie Stowe.
Joanne Bowers knew Washington was going to be really good this year. She said, watch out for something special. And Washington comes in number 17, their best team in 10 years. Becca Conrad for Arizona State, won the Determined Devil Award last year. And comes in with her best mark off the floor, a 3.67 GPA.
Well, you mentioned some of the tough things Arizona State has gone through. Some of them have been injuries. In fact, Becca Conrad, this is only the 2nd floor routine this season for her. Beautiful double pike to start the routine. In a few of the meets, they only had 5 athletes up on vault and floor because when Caitlin Lentz hurt her ankle, they do have 6 athletes in the floor lineup. However, on vault, we're only going to see 5 athletes competing.
Becca's had success at this meet before. In fact, her career best on floor is a 9.85. That came at the Pac-12 Championships back in 2014. Becca's major, exploratory social and behavioral sciences. You could write your thesis on the Pac-12 Championships, couldn't you?
Oh, little struggle there again on that combination.
Becca Conrad for Arizona State, junior from Newport News in Virginia.
I believe she was supposed to do a front full twist in that final tumbling pass, and looked like she bent her knees a little bit, wasn't able to complete it. So we might see a deduction there on that routine.
9.75 for Dana McNair, and here is her sister Nikki McNair, who has been a machine this year. 26 of her 27 routines have been 9.8 or better. Let's just focus on the vault. She hasn't had a vault under 9.8 in 2 years.
Well, I want to see what the judges are going to do with that, because I feel like these vault scores have been a little bit tight in this first rotation. Remember, Stanford ranked 12th in the country on this event. Look at the form in the air. Nice position. Chest is way up on the landing. And you'll see a little rebound, but her feet, I don't think even, a little bit of movement there. But that should break into the 9.8 range. Their high score at this point is a 9.75.
Back to the bars. Arizona changed the first three in the lineup. Kristen Howard, 9.85, so they go back to back. And here's Selena Felix Terrazas, junior from Tucson, homegrown product, with a season high 9.85.
She has made tremendous improvement on this event when it comes to her form, her feet and knees, big amplitude there, and a strong connection down to the low bar. Finishing giant full right on top, double tuck, and another stuck landing. Early in the season, head coach Tabitha Yim said, we are counting our sticks, and it's paying off.
Selena's pumped up. And we should see her at least once more on floor. She's been competing 2 or 3 events all year long. 9.75 for Stowe. Caitlin Duranchik, junior from California, who has a win this year on balance beam, a season high 9.9 against Western Michigan. She has been 9.8 or better in her last 3.
Coach Joanne Bowers told me that as the co-captain of this team, she has really spent time being mentored by Allison Northey. She's a great competitor, but more importantly, going to step into an important leadership role in another fall for Washington on the balance beam.
Just a disastrous rotation for the Gym Dogs at home in their opening round. It's just such a shame, Amanda. They came in with so much momentum, such a talented team.
Well, I think we mentioned how difficult it is to start on the balance beam. But you also have to remember, every team still has to go through the balance beam. So yes, not a great start for them. They are definitely counting at least 1 fall at this point. But there's still 3 more events to go. And as we all know, it's not over till it's over.
And if you're going to have problems in a gymnastics meet, have them early.
Finishing round off 1.5 twist.
Trying to keep the attitude up. Becca Conrad just a 9.375. Heather Udovich. Udovich has gone 9.8 on the floor. Her last 4 have been modest, but all 9.725, and before you can be great, you need to be consistent.
Opening double pike. We've watched her all season get just a little stronger, just a little more consistent, and like you mentioned, more confident. That was probably the best double pike I've ever seen her do.
Another freshman for Arizona State, 1 of 6 in the lineup today.
Combination, back 1.5 twist to that front pike. go. She needs a great landing here. Front 1.5 twist, and a great routine for her.
That's Heather Udowich.
Very nice.
Ralph Rosso, the acting head coach for the Gym Devils today. He was a manager in Arkansas for Renee List, and so he's only in his second year at Arizona State, and all of a sudden finds himself in charge of this young program.
Well, this was her first tumbling pass. You can see him in the corner, and it was a great one for her. Clean landing, big smile on her face.
Ralph was a pretty good gymnast himself at Michigan, part of the Big Ten championship team, NCAA finalist on rings. 9-7-7-5, the last score for Stanford, and here is our first look today at the start of the early session. Elizabeth Price, ranked number 6 in the country on this event.
Wow!
And
Oh,
the crowd made a gasping noise when she left the table before she even landed. Stanford fans on their feet.
Well, because that's the biggest vault you will see. And the most difficult, Yurchenko double full. I was wondering which vault's she gonna do. Watch this, straight up off the table.
Look at the amplitude.
And then look at this landing. It doesn't get better than that. We've seen some low scores. It's time. That's 9.95, if not a 10-0.
She's had a 10 before, not this year. She had a 10 against Oregon State last year when she won 6 times. She's won 6 times already this year. Selena Felix Terrazas went 9.85 for Arizona. And here's Gabby Lobb.
Combination work right here to start the routine. Tkachev, nice position on the catch.
Gabby has 2 wins on bars this year. She went 9.875 last week against BYU. Got to finish it here on the dismount.
Double layout. Wow,
How about
I'm
that?
so impressed with Arizona's landings. Remember, they count 5 scores. That's 5 landings. And if you can stick every landing, you're adding 5 tenths to that team score. And I'm impressed.
Yeah, Arizona has gone 49 on this event 3 times this year. If you're new to gymnastics, every team is aiming for 49 in each rotation. Gonna have to count Burleson's 9.225 now. Will Washington, Jocelyn Goings in the 5 spot. They'll finish with Goings and then Allison Northey.
Well, Jocelyn has really grown a lot this year. She's a strong all-arounder for this team, and she's going to be tested right here. This has been a very difficult rotation. Remember, they've had 2 mistakes. Difficult series. 2 back handspring single layouts. Thought she is not dead straight, but she stayed calm and was able to hold on.
Jocelyn, ranked 41st in the nation on balance beam, has 2 wins this year, and a season high at 9.9.
Nice flexibility on her straddle jumps.
1 week ago, she was on the same beam in this building, 9.875.
Setting up for the dismount. Side aerial, layout full. She might have matched that. Great routine.
Good for her. And boy, did Washington need it. They finished with their 2 best on beam in Goings and Northey. 9.75 for Udowich. And with all these freshmen, sometimes you forget about the senior, Allie Salas. Well, both she and Taylor Alex are the leaders of this team. Time to show it. She has 7 straight floors of 9.8 or better.
Opening. Oh, front double full. Looks like her feet slipped on the takeoff. Much better position there. different layout to the front full. Catching her breath. Beautiful double pike. She had that stumble on the first tumbling pass, which is unlike her. She has been that consistent
That was Alice.
all-arounder for the Arizona State team. It's hard to tell what that deduction's going to be. I couldn't tell if her knee touched the ground or not.
She'll be in the all-around today as well, at least scheduled.
You can see right there, her hips went backwards. She knew she was going to come up short. Her hand went down, so yeah, that's a major deduction. And a hard hit, that's a big score typically for Arizona State on this event.
9-9 for Elizabeth Price. And I don't say this often, but only a 9-9?
You know, I've watched that vault 2 weeks in a row, and I think it's perfect.
What's wrong with it? All the way down to 9-9. Ivana Hong only has a couple of vaults this year at a 9.85 at UCLA. Added this late.
She piked that down just a little bit, so over-rotated along with that deduction on the hop. You're gonna see right here, she had nice position. She didn't need to pike, but right here, she pikes it down, so when she hits, her hips are behind her feet. She has to take that hop back.
She's ranked on both bars and beams. She's adding vault. They expect her to add floor and possibly be an all-arounder once again. She was at the beginning of her career. Gabby Lobb, 9.8. So look, after Schneider's opening performance where she fell, Arizona now has put together the best rotation, but they need one more.
Well, it's up to Lexi Mills. She mounts right to the high bar. Little Archie on that giant full, connecting to the ginger, no problem on the catch.
Coming off a season high, 9.875 last week against BYU. That's David McCreary, who was spotting her, now an assistant at Arizona, but a longtime assistant here at UW.
They got themselves out of an early hole right there.
They sure did. Remember, you could drop that top score, and the next 5 all came through.
Well, she had a few body position errors, but finished this strong. Full twisting double back. One step there, but I have to say they're probably very pleased with that. Every score, minus that first routine, has been 9-8 or better.
And this is why we've been getting excited about Arizona, because they dug themselves out of that hole and may be leading after the first rotation. In time for Washington, you can see the concerned looks in the background. Joanne Bowers, associate head coach, Elise Ray. We've already talked about how difficult the balance beam is. It's compounded when it's your first event of the day, and you add in all the pressure of the Pac-12 Championships. Washington was up against it from the very beginning. Allison Northeast, one of our favorites in the all-around.
She's the only senior on this team, and when Joanne Bowers talks about her, she just grins ear to ear because Allison has been just consistent like that. She's kind of the calm energy of this team, and she said, you know what, we are going to miss her tremendously.
She's ranked on everything. Balance beam, she's 24th. And she has 5 victories this year on this event. 7 scores of 9.85 or better.
Most importantly, a hit for this rotation, and that's what this team needed. That's what Allison Northey is to this Washington team. When they need her most, she knows what to do.
That sound and that smile says it all, how important Allison Northey is to this program. Washington has been resurrected this year. I remember talking to Joanne Bowers very early in the season, and she said, look, we're going to surprise some people, and we're peaking at the right time. but it hasn't started that way for them. Not so far. Ali Salas, remember, she fell on that opening tumbling pass, just a 9-2. Here comes Taylor Alex, who is one of the hottest athletes in the country on this event. The floor, 4 wins, a season-high 9.95 against Cal. She took control of this event mid-season, and she has not let it go.
We're going to see why. This first tumbling pass, double Arabian, which is already difficult, but watch the amount of height she gets. And knows exactly where she is every single time she opens it up to that blind landing. Nowhere close to the out of bounds.
It's always been a strong event for her. Last year she had nothing below a 9.8. This year a couple of stumbles early in the year, regained her footing, and she's been great.
Well, in a perfect landing there, lots of difficulty, 2.5 twist to that front full.
Taylor was a regional qualifier in the all-around last year. She too has posted some of her best numbers off the floor, 3.65 GPA.
Beautiful front 1.5 twist. Another great routine for Taylor Alex on this event.
That's Taylor.
And Taylor's going to be seen on everything today except for bars. Floor has been a strength. She was one of the favorites coming in for a top 3 finish for the entire meet. Taylor was ranked 42nd in the country on the floor coming in. Not a good start for the Gym Dogs in their own house. Arizona recovers from an early fall. Gym Cats with an early lead. Stanford puts up a 48.85 on the vault. Certainly a little disappointing for a team that is ranked 12th in the country, but they rallied late. Ivana Hung with a 9.75 in the anchor spot, and just prior to that, Elizabeth Price goes 9.9. Amanda, we thought it was much better than that.
Well, you know, we saw this vault at UCLA. She got a 9.975. I don't know where the judges are finding deduction. Her legs are glued together. It's a perfect landing. And the bottom line is there shouldn't be another vault today, session 1 or session 2, that should beat that.
It's certainly not a conspiracy, but it seems like Elizabeth Price gets judged as tough as any gymnast in the country. We're always talking about how her scores should be a little bit higher. You're talking about someone that has 39 career wins. 26 have come this year, and 6 times she has won the vault. She's number 6 on that event. She's number 3 in the all-around. Sam Pesek is down on the floor with Stanford head coach Kristen Smith.
I'm with Kristen, and congrats on a solid vault start. Elizabeth Price does the hardest vault in NCAA gymnastics, a Yurchenko double full. A lot of people think she continuously gets underscored. How did you guys decide to throw the more difficult vault today?
Well, conference championships is the place to do it. Postseason is the place to do it. And it's just nice to see in our sport more variety, more difficulty. Those are the things that we wanted for our sport. And so she brings the whole package.
I totally agree. It's strange to see you guys in this morning session. Is that an added incentive for you guys to do well, knowing you've already beat a bunch of the top-ranked teams tonight?
You know, we're just focusing on the things that we can control. Our gymnastics, having a great meet, hitting 24 routines, and seeing what happens.
Well, you guys are the only team that has not had a fall so far, knock on wood, so good luck for the rest of the meet.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Let's hope, Sammy, you didn't just jinx them. Every time I say that, somebody falls.
Yeah, but I said knock on wood, so that's why it's different.
Go over
you
to the
always
beam.
Have to knock on wood, Jim.
Go knock on the beam,
I'm knocking
Sammy.
up here on Jim.
Thank you, Amanda, for keeping him in check.
49-1 for Arizona in the first rotation gives the Gym Cats an early 0.25 lead over Standard. Just getting started. Rotation 2 coming up, session 1 at the Pac-12 Championships. We are just getting started. It is the longest day of the year, but it is the best day of the year. Right now, Stanford, Arizona, Arizona State, and Washington later tonight. Second session beginning at 6 o'clock. Oregon State, California, UCLA, and Utah. So double your pleasure today. You get 2 gymnastics meets for the price of 1. 8 teams, all in competition on the same floor. If you want to join the conversation, hashtag Pac-12 Gym. So we move to our second rotation now, and only 5 vaulters for Arizona State. Heather Udowich will start it off, then Corinne Belkoff, Carissa Kraus in her first event of the day, Allie Salas, and then once again in the anchor spot, but again, just in the 5 spot will be Taylor Alex. Taylor just got a 9.85 on the floor.
This has been the event that Arizona State struggled with the most because of some of the injuries they've had.
Tough event for Heather.
Starting out with that layout Yurchenko, that's a lower start value, but I think that she has gained confidence. Every single time I've seen her compete it's gotten better and better. So the good news is for this freshman class is I think we're gonna see added difficulty next year for her.
Nikki McNair will lead off for Stanford on the bars. This year Stanford, like the vault, is ranked number 12 in the country on this event. They have hit 49 in 7 out of 9 meets.
Big release right here. Pike Jaeger, perfect position on the catch. Holding that handstand as she transitions down to the low bar. Winding up, finishing full twisting double back. Oh, wow. Looked like she was going for the stick. That is a major deduction. She had a clean routine going. Starting with this release move, watch this. Look at the amplitude well above the bar. Gives her time right there to see it before she catches. But then here at the end, it looks like she lands and just kind of opens up. And those knees buckle, but that knee going down is a major deduction.
Nikki McNair almost always puts up a 9.8. Mentioned earlier, 26 out of 27 routines coming in this year. She just had a 9.775 on vault for Stanford. That fall on bars will take her below 9.8. Very uncharacteristic. The balance beam belongs to Arizona and Shelby Edwards. They come in with the lead after the first rotation.
Always great to come to the balance beam after a strong rotation. And now it's time to build off that momentum. This is a phenomenal beam team. They have to stay in control, one thing at a time, and so far so good there.
Earlier this year, Arizona was ranked 31st in the country on beam. Now they're 11th. Their last 5 have been 49 or better. Hot team on the hardest event.
Over front, perfect landing. Double steg ring. We've talked about these beam teams in our Pac-12 conference, and the teams that are best at the balance beams seem to get up there and they dance their way through the routine. You forget they're on a 4-inch balance beam, but she finished there, front tuck full, and a phenomenal start for Arizona on the balance beam.
Her season best came against Stanford at 9.85. In fact, she did that in back-to-back meets, Stanford and Cal, right in the middle of the season. Jocelyn Goings will start out Washington on the floor. Goings just posted a 9.85 on beam. Remember, Goings and Northey rescuing Washington's hopes at the end of that first rotation. I'd say Goings is good on floor, but it would be redundant. She's good on everything. She's top 50 in the country in the all-around.
And a confident start to this routine, opening with that double pike.
Her best here, a 9.875 against UCLA.
She's one of those athletes we watch come in as freshmen. She's good, and then they start gaining confidence. They understand the team concept, and this year even better. So I think she's got a lot of potential to continue to improve and become a strong leader of this team, which is important with Allison Northey stepping out.
Goings, just a sophomore from Phoenix, a star now and a leader of the future.
Double tuck. Oh, great save there. She rebounded.
That's
I'll tell
tough.
you what, that is a very common mistake. You land, you're popping up a little bit too early, so you rebound, but where she went right was she didn't put her hands down. Watch this, as she lands, she's stiff-legged, so she bounces, but typically a gymnast will put her hands down, which is a major deduction. For her, she'll only get the chest forward and whatever they decide to take for the hop. So great save.
To the vault. And again, Arizona State with only 5, so everyone's going to count. 9-5-2-5 for Yudovich. And here's Corinne Belkov. They had some trouble on the floor. Got to get it back here.
It's a solid vault for her. We've seen a variety of different things with the Arizona State team. Remembering they are freshmen, we've seen their best, we've seen their weakest. This was right in the middle. Not quite as much height and amplitude that she would like, so she had to pike it down, but she stayed clean and was just a little off center on the mat.
Corinne's last 4 vaults had been her best coming in. We'll see what they score that one. Nikki McNair with that fall on the landing. Her knees buckled, 9-3-7-5. So now Stanford is in the position where the next 5 all have to post good scores. Taylor Rice, remember she started the meet for Stanford on the vault with a 9-6-7-5.
This can be a great event for Taylor. Right there, beautiful handstand to start the routine. This is where the question mark happens. Jaeger, no problem today.
She's been a little inconsistent on bars this year, but she has posted a 9.875 at UCLA. That was Stanford's best meet of the year. They beat both the Bruins and Georgia.
This is the other part of the routine. You can see she is so bouncy. She landed very stiff, but she was in the exact right position, so no major deductions today. These 2 parts of the routine were the elements that we've seen her struggle on this year. Her Jaeger, forward flip, catching the bar, it was done just about perfect. And then right here on the landing of the double tuck, we've seen her rebound, we've seen her fall. Today, very nice job.
She does have 4 scores of 9.825. That score should be above that, although the judges, in an meet like this, where you have 4 in the morning and 4 later, sometimes the judges start out with lower scores and build as the afternoon goes on. Shelby Edwards, 9.775 for Arizona. Kristen Howard now for the Gym Cats of the University of Arizona.
Showcased beautiful flexibility and strength as she mounted the beam.
Remember that Howard was a surprise in the lineup on bars and responded with a 9.85.
Setting up for her tumbling series. Handspring layout, step out. Might need to go down and check the balance beam, make sure it's lined up straight here. That is the first mistake for Arizona on this event. So this will be the routine they hope to eliminate. I think it's always a good reminder that everybody has to compete on the balance beam. Everybody's feeling the pressure of this competition. Tuck full off the end. Nice finish there. You know, that's such a tough thing. It happens so quick. Right here, back handspring layout, step out. We saw the same problem with the Washington team. When they land, you've got to be dead centered over the balance beam or close enough, and you can see her hips, her upper body were completely out to the side, and it's an element they do over and over and over, and unfortunately, that was not what she wanted right here in this moment.
9-7 for Goings. First time today we've seen Emily Little, sophomore from Modesto in California. Season high 9.825 came at Utah. She's found a place in this lineup, 8 straight meets now on floor.
Nice height, rotation there on that opening tumbling pass. Front combination, finishing front fold, little short there on the landing, stepping back and off center of the diagonal. Double tuck to finish the routine. Nice job.
Nice work by Emily Little. We should see her in the vault lineup as well for Washington. But Pac-12s are a different animal, especially for coaches. They're always going to tweak those lineups, even late in a meet. Belkoff 9-7. Carissa Kraus, first time today.
She's an athlete we've watched on this event struggle and work through it. The question is she going to tuck this vault or lay it out?
Have to have been her best.
Tuck-Yurchenko full and a big smile. Early in the season, we saw her working the layout. She has an ankle injury that she came back from and has fought through this entire season, so they played it safe and went with the tuck.
She'll be back on bars later. That's her better event. Taylor Rice, 9.875. Good work by the kid from Vegas. Danny McNair. Danny was in the vault lineup for Stanford. 9.75.
Powerful gymnast. Nice Jaeger in the straddle position, transitioning down to the low bar.
She's been fighting the bars a little bit this year, only 3 scores of 9.8 or better, but she did have a 9.875 against UCLA. Needs a good dismount and landing.
Double layout, looked a little bit close to the bar.
And landed in the soft part of that mat. Took a step back.
That was so good.
She looked like she threw her head back right here on the takeoff, and so for a double layout, looked a little bit closer to the bar than you'd like to see. Of course, I always feel like that affects the landing. When you know you're close to the bar, you're kind of hesitant on the landing position, but I think they'll take that routine and definitely that score at this point.
You're saying when you're spinning in the air and your head's close to a stationary bar that affects you?
Yes, definitely.
That kind of analysis that brings me into it, man. Lexi Mills now after Kristen Howard's fall. We have seen Arizona come back from a fall already in this meet. But now it's up to Lexi Mills, Maddie Cindric, Jessie Sisler, and Skylar Shepard. Those still to come on beam for Arizona.
Lexi is beautiful on this event. She's confident in movement. This is the first test right here, back handspring out of that front aerial. A little slow in the connection, but I think she'll get credit for it.
Got to be connected, right?
It's got to be fluid, and it has to have no balance checks, and that's what's really difficult about the forward to the backward elements.
She's got reason to smile. She's coming off a season high on this event last week against BYU. 9.75. Love that score again.
there because all that's left right here is the dismount. Gainer full off the side, sticks the landing.
Something has changed in Tucson. In the past, after a fall, Arizona might have folded the tent. They've been unheard of for the rest of the day. Already today, we've seen them respond once, and now they're doing it again on beam. 9.775 for Emily Little. Nice work. Zoe Schaefer. This has always been a good event for Zoe, sophomore from Minneapolis. Remember her amazing start as a freshman last year. Won her first 4 meets on floor, then injured her Achilles at UCLA, was out for the year. She is fighting her way back. Her last 2 meets have been 9.85 on floor.
Strong double tuck to start the routine. We talked about it early in the season. To see an athlete have a devastating injury like an Achilles tear and then come back is always great, but to come back on the floor exercise, this is where she tore that Achilles, as well as probably the most difficult event to recover on with the amount of tumbling and pressure. Nice combination, 2 front pulls connected.
Best score so far in the meet on floor, 9.85, Arizona State's Taylor Alex.
This has been a clean routine. It's going to come down to this final tumbling pass and the landing. Finishing double kite. Little lean back there on the finish, but a great routine.
Well, you mentioned it, because she's coming off that debilitating Achilles injury. That used to end people's careers. Now they come back from it, but it hasn't been easy for her. After 10 months, she comes back. She was a little rough, knocking off all that rust from the layoff, but each time we see her, she's polishing the penny just a little bit more.
Well, some of it is also confidence, to redo the tumbling passes that you injured it on, to land and be confident in that position, and that was a strong routine for her.
9.65 for Carissa Kraus. Ali Salas. Ali did not have a good floor. Remember, she fell on her first pass. It's not like her. A little more determined here on the vault.
Beautiful vault for Ali. Yurchenko layout full. These last 2 vaulters, Ali Salas, Taylor Alex, very important to this Arizona State team. And we've watched her perform this vault, but never this good. She opened her arms out. In fact, Greg Marston last week told us, you got to open like an eagle for the landing, and that's exactly what she did today.
Arizona State ranked 49th in the country on vault. 9.775 for Danny McNair. Here's Dare Maxwell. Maxwell will only be seen here on bars. Freshman from Oklahoma City. Career high against UCLA was a 9.875. Should have great form. Part of the Oklahoma City Ballet. Till point.
Nice release, connected down to the low bar. She has a slower rhythm on this event. Nice save there. It looked like she could have tipped that over. She finishes, giant full double tuck.
Strong routine, fought through it and held on. Chris Swarzik, assistant coach in his 13th season, right there with a nice word. Remember, Stanford had a 9.375 by Nikki McNair to start that rotation. They want to X that out. 9.825 for Lexi Mills.
Looks like the judges are still talking about some of the routines. And of course, there's Tabitha Yim talking to Maddie Cindric, because there's nothing like waiting on the balance beam.
Tabitha Yim has done an exceptional job in her first season in Tucson. Remember that Tabitha, a longtime Stanford assistant, 5 years for Kristen Smith. And prior to that, Tabitha was an elite gymnast, one of the best in the country, 14-time All-American, the most in Stanford history, led the Cardinal to 2 conference titles. She's been on the job in Tucson less than 9 months, and already there's a change.
we could feel the energy in the arena, the energy
Attendance.
of the team.
Yep, they set attendance records this year, and the Gym Cats come in 21st in the country.
Nice jump combination. Start the routine out. Back handspring layout, step out, solid landing.
Cindric's season best is also her career best, 9.9 at Arizona State. She did that 8, I remember that performance. She also won this event against UCLA, and that's saying something when you go up against Danusha Francis, who's ranked 2nd in the nation. You'll see her later tonight for the Bruins.
But this has been a beautiful routine for her. Little off center there on her dismount, took a little step. But remember, at this point, every routine counts for Arizona. They need to hit every single routine in hopes to drop out that second place score.
9.85 for Zoe Schaefer. Good to see Zoe taking baby steps all the way back to just how good she was last year. Caitlin Duranchik for Washington on the floor, the captain of the team. She's had a 9.85 3 times this year. And most of them have come at the end of the season.
Front through to double pike. She's a very powerful gymnast. One of the athletes that had the struggle on balance beam in that first rotation.
Yeah, they ended up dropping her score.
So always so important to remember you have to rebound in the sport of gymnastics, because now this score matters. This team needs her to go big and be clean. And that's what she did. Nice routine.
Got to feel good after the disappointment on beam to come back in front of the home folks. Duranchik, a junior. Remember, only 5 for Arizona State. They will have to count that 9.525. Taylor Alex has been exceptional on vault this year. 6 wins, a career high 9.9 4 different times. Just saw her post a 9.85 on floor. Looking for a big day.
Yurchenko 1.5 twist. Starts from that 10.0. She's very clean in the air. She has nice positioning. It always comes down to the landing, and why it's so difficult. Most people stop right there. She adds a half twist, has to know exactly where she's at. And most coaches would much rather have a step forward than a step backwards. It's easier to stay on your feet.
Taylor Alex, senior from Becker, Minnesota. 9.8 for Dara Maxwell, so good scores for Stanford. They're going to want to drop McNair at the top, and they're going to finish with Price and Hong. So they're in good hands, aren't they?
They are in great hands. Coach Smith said they are the 1-2 punch. Well, here it goes. Here's first.
6 wins for Price on bars. This is her best event. She's number 3 in the nation.
Well, watch this packed routine. Power, look at the height here. And directly connected to a perfect handstand. And combined back up to the high bar. All that's left now is the dismount. Huge double layout. And just a step back on the landing.
She had a 9.975 at UCLA the last time we saw her, and you and I both thought that had a good chance to be a 10.
I did. You know what's tough about Elizabeth Price is her level of difficulty is so much higher. Right here, look at the elements all connected together. She has extreme level of difficulty, and it's nearly perfect every single time, and I think that's why I have such an appreciation for her. I know what she's capable of, and the reality is, like I said, I think she's one of the best gymnasts in the country.
9.85 for Maddie Sindrick. Jessie Sisler to the beam. She is a defending champion in this meet on floor. She has a win this year on beam, and 3 times has posted a 9.875.
Another gymnast with beautiful lines on this event. Her toe point, her knees almost look a little hyperextended, gives her dance elements. Solid back handsprings to that layout step out.
Amanda, she's only 5'3", which is about average for a gymnast, but when you watch her on the beam, she looks like she's 5'10".
It's those beautiful long legs, you know. I always used to say I wanted long, beautiful legs like that. And you can see it makes such a difference on the events like balance beam. Solid kick over front. Dismounting 1.5 twist. Clean routine.
The best beam score so far, Jocelyn Goings 9.85. Remember that they will hand out individual championships on each of the 4 events and the all-around. Duranchik 9.825. Good scores in the middle of the rotation for Washington on floor. Alex Yakalis, first time we've seen Alex tonight. Sophomore from Binghamton, New York. She had a 9.9 on this event at UCLA.
She has a big first tumbling pass, very powerful. She has to control the landing. Full twisting double back, stays in bounds.
She's on a tear on floor. Her last 8 have all been 9.8 or better. They're looking for a big score here.
Close to that yellow line or out of bounds.
As long as the flag doesn't go up, and it did not. The low score for Washington so far on the floor, Goings 9.7. So everyone's aiming for higher than that. Drop your low score and keep the top 5. Joanne Bowers talks about Alex as being their power kid, big difficulty in tumbling.
Oh,
Did she go out? She did.
went
The
out.
flag went up.
you know, all of
Right
her
at
tumbling
the
passes
end.
were just a little off center from the diagonal, which then of course shortens how much room you have. And I mentioned she got close on that second tumbling pass. That was by far her easiest tumbling pass, and that's where she had the mistake.
Well, because it comes at the end of the routine, I'm guessing fatigue plays a role here.
Well, and she's off center. That's more important. Had she been centered, she would have had plenty of room. You could see she was trying to fight it, leaning to that one side. But if your toe touches that out of bounds line, which here is yellow, it's automatically 1/10 of a deduction.
Easy to see for the judges. The flag went up instantly, and they will score her down because of it. Alaska Airlines Arena on campus at the University of Washington, the Pac-12 Gymnastics Championships, session 1 of 2. Jim Watson alongside the Olympic gold medalist Amanda Borton and the Olympic silver medalist Sam Peshek down on the floor. Sam won both the balance beam and the all-around championship last year, and now she stepped into her new career working with us. Elizabeth Price, 9'9". Ivana Hong will finish off the rotation for Stanford on bars.
She is gorgeous on this event. Her form and toe point.
She's ranked 35th in the nation.
Her legs glued together.
Couple of wins this year on this event.
Aggressive handstand to finish the routine out as she winds up finishing double layout.
Oh, there's a redshirt senior. Look at Swarzek, just punches the air and said, yeah, that's right, give it to me.
We knew
That's
those
nice.
last two routines were going to be strong ones, and very important, they had that mistake early in the lineup, Nikki McNair, on the very first routine, and then from Taylor Rice down, strong finish with their best two at the end.
They did the same thing on vault with their final four. Here they did it with 5 in a row. Skylar Shepard, first time today. Skylar Shepard has one beam. Twice she's gone 9.825.
And remember, she's a freshman. Not too often that you see a freshman anchoring the lineup. But she is very confident, knows exactly what to do. Now they need her more than they've ever needed her before on this event. Back handspring layout, step out. Oh. Remember, these falls are 5/10 of a point. For Arizona, Kristen Howard, who's in the second spot, had that 9.2. They were hoping to drop that. Now Skylar Shepard also takes the fall deduction.
Because they're going to have to count that 9.2. Arizona now has fallen out of the lead. Remember, we're only at the midway point. 2 more rotations here in session 1. 4 more teams in a full meet tonight.
Dismounting back handspring, 1 and twist. That's a tough rotation for Arizona. We've watched them all year long, and this has been the event that they have won a lot of their meets on. They have been solid top to bottom, and it's just a tough rotation.
And a lot of pressure on a freshman in the anchor spot there.
Now up on the flag side for Washington,
Allison Northey, house favorite. The low score for Washington on the floor, Ucallis, is 9-6. Allison's top 50 on the floor. She has 5 individual wins on the floor exercise this year.
Clean double pike to start the routine. Beautiful combination work and the second tumbling pass. I asked Coach Joanne Bowers about her, and I said she seems to be getting even better every single meet in this last part of the season. And she said, you know what is unique about Allison is what you see in competition is what I see every day in practice. She gets better, but it's because she's a hard worker. Day in and day out, she does her job, and it pays off.
And Allison's scores have backed up what you just said. Her last 4 on floor have been 9.8, 7.5 or better. I believe that one will also. She's won 3 of her last 5 floor exercises. That's her dad up there in the white sweatshirt at the top of the bleachers. Well, we are through 2 rotations. Arizona led after 1. Stanford making a comeback. We'll add up the scores. Elizabeth Price and the Cardinal, the favorite in session 1. Arizona's rotation on beam totals up to a 48.5. Skylar Shepard in that anchor spot had the fall, and that hurt their overall score. But you see right in the middle of it, Mills, Cindric, and Sisler all coming through. After Cindric had gone 9.85, Sisler did the same.
Well, Arizona is a great beam team. They had 2 major mistakes today, but Sisler was solid from the start of her routine. She looked confident. She has beautiful dance elements. And dismounted with the 1.5 twist and a beautiful landing.
Arizona is one of those teams that came in with a chance to surprise. They won 3 out of their last 4 to close the regular season, including a win against BYU last week and a season best 196.850. Where does the change come from? The head coach Tabitha Yim, who also happens to be the Pac-12 Gymnast of the Year from back in 2008.
I'm with head coach Tabitha Yim. Coming into Pac-12s, you guys were ranked 11th on beam. Unfortunately, had a few mistakes today. What did you tell the girls to pick up the momentum for floor?
Well, you know, we had some clutch performances after Kristen Howard had an uncharacteristic miss. So Lexi Mills stepping up that way, having her back, want to do the same thing when we come to floor. Have our back. This is a great moment for us. We have a very young team to show really their character and who they are. And they work so hard in the gym. We said, come out, bring it out on floor, show who you really are. And I think that you're going to see that and you're going to really enjoy their performances tonight.
That's awesome. You guys have been working hard all season to make improvements. How different is a regular season meet, the type of pressure you feel then as opposed to now at Pac-12s?
I think it's more excitement. You know, you feel the butterflies, everything's going on around you, and this is why we do college athletics. And so I think the excitement definitely goes up, and it's what we train for. We want to peak at the end of the year, so we're going to keep building.
Thanks, Tabitha.
Thank you.
And Arizona is indeed peaking at the end of the season. They're ranked 21 despite not having an athlete ranked in the top 50 on any event. There's the scores after the second rotation. Stanford with a 98.050 to lead. Remember, the Pac-12 Championships have been held twice before in Seattle, 2001, 2008, and Stanford won them both. Halfway through the meet, and Stanford leads in session 1, 98.050. We called Stanford the early favorite. Normally Stanford qualifies for the late session, but Stanford had a slow start to its season, rallied late. Remember, they just beat both UCLA and Georgia at Poly Pavilion 2 weeks ago in its last event with a 197.4. So Stanford is trying to post a number for the 4 tonight to chase. We move to our third rotation, and that means the home team, Washington, will begin on the vault. Washington is a top 20 team this year on this event, and they've hit 49 in 5 out of their last 6. Jocelyn Goings starts us off as a season high 9.85. Her last 6 have all been really good.
And she's been great today. Another solid performance for her.
She keeps hitting 9.8 on the vault. Look at the confidence.
Well, that's what Joanne Bowers said about her, is that, you know, she came in as a freshman, tried to figure it out. Well, now she's really stepped up. Watching Allison Northey as the leader of this team work hard in the gym and let it pay off in competition.
I think she and Duranchik just had a face 5. You ever seen one of those? Yeah, that hurts, but they're both okay. Over to the bars, Arizona State. Heather Yudowich.
We've seen her struggle through bars this year, so this is an important routine for her. A little bit close there on the Jaeger. Came in a little bit short on that handstand. We've seen her struggle the most right here at the end of the routine, lacking some endurance and strength. Finishing double tap. We've seen her use
best
combinations. Right? She played it safe, put up a clean routine, and a good start for Arizona State.
She had a 9.75 earlier on floor. That's her best score of the day. We'll see what they give her here on bars. Stanford on beam. And really, this is Stanford's day right here, isn't it now? They're ranked 11th in the country on balance beam. 6 times they've hit 49, including the last 3. 5 big scores here if they have any chance for it to hold up tonight.
My goodness.
And a tough start. Nikki McNair just had that back foot slip off and no chance to save it.
Yeah, and a very unusual mistake for her. She's in the leadoff spot because she has been consistent. She stays calm under pressure.
Nikki McNair, the 2014 Pac-12 Freshman of the Year, had just been a machine, pumping out 9.8s all year, but unfortunately, it has not carried over to today's Pac-12 Championships.
Nice side aerial.
And this is where I think I feel the most empathy for gymnasts when they're having a tough day and they're on the balance beam.
Yeah, another balance check there. Breaking that jump connection. Especially when you've seen these athletes do these great routines
we
all
know
season
she's
long.
a great gymnast. We've known her for a long time.
Yes, unfortunately, every gymnast has been there. Every gymnast has had that routine when you don't want it to happen. And the question is, how do you rebound? They still have regionals as well as hopefully NCAAs. Here's where the problem happened. Watch this. As she lands, that right foot completely slips. And the crazy thing about a gymnast is she's still trying to fight to hang on even though she drops to that back knee. Look. And there it is, trying to grip and save it. I can tell you she has done thousands of those, and I'm pretty confident to say that mistake has never happened.
We move to the floor. Arizona begins with Maddie Cindric. Maddie coming off that 9.85 moments ago on balance beam. Maddie has won on floor this year, and her season high came against Washington, 9.825.
Nice double pike to start the routine. This can be a great event for Arizona. I think the key at this point is for everybody to stay on their feet so they can gain some momentum and confidence. Remember, in the first 2 rotations, they had mistakes early on. I think when you feel that pressure, you see them holding back a little bit. They were just over 4/10 behind Stanford after this rotation, so every tumbling pass is gonna matter. Nice landing there. Beautiful. Final tumbling pass.
That was Maddie Cindric.
Good work by the sophomore from Texas. She hasn't had a lot of scores over 9.8. That should be 9.75 for Jocelyn Goings. Emily Little for Washington. Emily coming off a 9.775 on floor.
Difficult pike handspring front. You don't see too many vaults in that forward entry position. The Yurchenko's the most common vault we see because it's the easiest to perform clean. This one takes tremendous speed and power. You gotta generate enough rotation off the board, but the reason that stands out, watch this, her legs are glued together. Quite often when you see those forward entry vaults, the legs straddle, which the judges can't always see, but I get to see it in slow motion, and I can tell you that was an impressive vault.
And Emily came into this meet in a slump on vault. I think she just broke it. The 9.4 for Udowich now will be the target for the next 5, beginning with Ali Salas.
Mounts right to the high bar. This is the event where Ali breaks form just a little bit. You'll see her feet come apart on elements like that, down to the low bar. She has a very aggressive pace to this bar routine. Lots of speed here at the end. Finishing double layout, opens it up. Good for her. That was a great landing.
They moved Allie around in this lineup a little bit. We saw her earlier this year against Arizona. She was in the leadoff spot. That was her best score of the year. Becca Conrad with a big hug and a word. Allie's pleased with it. Now we'll see what the judges think. Tough beam routine for Nikki McNair. Taylor Rice. Taylor had a 9.875 on bars in the second rotation. She has a win on beam this year and twice has posted 9.85.
A few weeks ago at UCLA, we finally saw her really put a great, confident balance beam routine together. Nice kick over front.
Keep in mind that Stanford already has a fall with Nikki McNair in the leadoff. So Taylor Rice, Ivana Hong, Elizabeth Price, Alicia Schwang, and Rachel Dahm have no room for error. All five must come through for Stanford to have a chance. Rice.
Great save there. She was completely leaned to the right. Her feet almost tap danced around.
Held on to it.
Quite often you see seniors, they know what to do in that moment. The freshmen overreact, the seniors are patient, and she stays on.
Good work by Taylor Rice. Stanford was third in this meet last year. They're gonna have to post a big score early in the day, then sit back and watch the other four go tonight.
Well, watch this landing. I mean, she's completely leaned, hop skips on one foot, and it really didn't look like that big of a deduction. I can tell you, anytime you don't land solid, anytime you have to step backwards, forwards, anything, quite often it ends up in a fall until you learn how to just stay calm and kind of handle that experience.
Yeah, freshmen try to fight through everything and end up compounding the mistake. And as you get older and you get that experience, you absorb a small deduction to avoid a fall. Now get your attention. Selena Felix Terrazas.
Big first tumbling pass there.
Selena's got a couple of 9.85s this year on floor. She has a 9.85 earlier today on bars.
Nice 1.5 twist to that front layout. Finishing double tuck.
Selena Felix Terrazas, the junior from Tucson, with some of that southwestern flair.
Well, this first tumbling pass, lots of difficulty, double back, but the first flip has that full twist. And a great landing.
(9.8) for Emily Little. Second event of the day for Haley Burleson. The beam did not go so well.
Well, you mentioned her long lines. It shows even on the vault. She had phenomenal distance, beautiful landing.
She's got 4 vaults of 9.8 this year. This will be right in there.
Well, she was in the right position all the way through the air and holds on to that landing. The coaches liked it too.
Stephen Buckner in the background with the bow tie and both hands in the air. There he is. You know, I love to watch the assistant coaches because they see so many of these routines. They'll give it away immediately. They'll try to pump it up a little bit, but you can tell a genuine reaction. 9.7 Rosales, Corinne Belkoff. This year, Corinne was asked to do an awful lot. in her rookie season. Freshman from Tucson came in, and right away they said, you're an all-arounder. We need you out there every rotation, and you need to help carry this team. There's a lot to ask, and she has responded. And it's fun to watch her grow.
Absolutely. I got to watch her as a club gymnast, and I said early on in this season, I feel like she's a different athlete. She's much more confident, and I feel like as a collegiate gymnast, you compete a lot more. And so she's gained that experience, learning how to handle all the situations.
Yeah, you got to grow up in a hurry. Nice routine for Corinne Belkoff. Her season high is only a 9.75 on bars. She's going to threaten that.
Yeah, girl. Yeah, she had nice form throughout. Finished it up with a clean dismount.
Now on the balance beam.
9.75 for Taylor Rice after the balance check. Ivana Hong. Ivana Hong has won 3 times on balance beam. She is ranked nationally. Twice has gone 9.925.
Showcasing her strength and flexibility.
Her all-time best on this event came at one of the most important meets. Last year's Super 6. That was the NCAA Championships for Gymnastics.
Difficult combination there. An Onodi to that back handspring. Back handspring layout, step out, look.
Looked like the beam was 3 feet wide. No problem, right?
Well, she has a presence on this event. She's got the beautiful form and artistry, but she approaches the balance beam very different than a lot of athletes.
We don't expect to see her on floor, so this could wrap up her program, and she's been good today. 9.75 on vault, 9.85 on bars.
Dismounting off the end. Gainer pike. Great routine for her.
Ivana Hong, of course, one of the great stories in collegiate gymnastics. Her mom, Michelle, escaped from Vietnam in a boat when she was 15 years old. Ended up going to Stanford. When Ivana was 15 years old, she was on the U.S. Olympic team. That's an American story.
Yes.
Felix Terrazas goes 9.8. First time today, I believe, to see Lauren Matson. A check it, Lexi Mills.
Opening double pike. Setting up for that second tumbling pass. Solid combination work with that front full.
Lexi's been in and out of their floor rotation this year. She missed 4. Had a 9.8 at Arizona State.
Nice save there.
Sure
1.5
was.
twist, yeah, to that front layout. Looked like she overshot it just a little bit. Finishing triple turn.
Lexi Mills, senior from Frisco, Texas. And that should wrap up her program today as well. Had a 9.75 on bars, 9.825 on beam. And not expected to go in the vault. Not yet. Not counting anything. The way we've been tweaking lineups. It's okay, keeps it interesting. Haley Burleson went 9.825. Alex Chikalis. Chikalis just dropped her score on floor. Yeah, then they're going to keep that one. respect.
That was beautiful. You can see how quick she is. We saw that on floor. She stumbled out of bounds there. No problem here. Watch how quick she comes off the table, straight up. That gives her the control she needs on this landing. When you're a powerful gymnast, it's all about the takeoff. The takeoff has to be exactly right so the landing can be in control. That was a strong vault.
And look at Joanne Bauer's reaction. Remember, she calls Alex the power kid of this team. Her last 6 vaults have all been 9.8 or better. Alex's best is a 9.85. Belkoff went 9.65. Carissa Kraus has a season best of 9.85 here on bars, and she's done it twice.
She has really gained a lot of confidence on this event this year.
Yeah, she's last half dozen, she's been right there, 9.75 or better every time.
Well, early in the season, Jeff Hunt, who's squatting right there next to the bar, said she's been working so hard in the gym. We want to see it pay off. And that is what she's done.
She's been threatening a breakthrough the last month of the season, and it might have just come.
What a great feeling right there to put out a great routine and stick the dismount. It's one of those moments, hard work pays off, and you know, for this senior class, there's been a lot of emotions, lots of ups and downs. And what a moment for Carissa Kraus.
Good job, Car.
Next up,
9.875 for Ivana Hong. Once again, Elizabeth Price, one of our favorites in the all-around. She's ranked 61st on balance beam. Technically, it's her weakest event. But she's won 3 times, and she has a 9.9. Seems silly ever to use the word weak when you're talking about Elizabeth Price, doesn't it?
Well, she's tremendously powerful, and you're going to see right here on her tumbling pass. Look at the height, amplitude, and you can see she was just a little off center, but she snapped it down.
She already has 9.9s on both vaults and bars. I believe you and I talking on the way in today, you said in the all-around, if you put up 4 9.9s, you're going to be tough to beat today. She has 2.
Well, this is the event that will test her the most. When you are as powerful as Elizabeth Price, it can also be hard to control it. The other thing is her level of difficulty. She does the hardest dismount in the competition, a round off double pike, much more difficult to land also. She's got to have a clean, great takeoff. And right there, those small steps forward, so lots of difficulty. Unfortunately, a step is a step. It doesn't matter if it comes from a gainer layout full or a double pike. It is a deduction. And I said, it's too bad. I feel like on a dismount like this, 2 flips off the end of a 4-inch beam, very difficult to land. Those steps should be like, I don't know, half the deduction because of the level of difficulty. But I said it from day one, I appreciate that she has continued to keep that difficulty in the routine, knowing that there's a lot of risk as well.
Right now, Elizabeth Price still has the highest scores in the meet on both vaults and bars. Kennedy Schneider on floor.
And this is a fun routine to watch. Lots of personality, great choreography.
She's won twice on floor, and I think somewhere in here she's going to throw in the dab. Right? The internet will go crazy.
Well, perfect landing there to start the routine.
And she choreographs her own routines. So this is all Kennedy Schneider.
Sticking the second tumbling pass. We talk about it all the time with UCLA and their great choreography, but this is not easy to do. To have the personality to get out in front of the fans and do this, but it also adds an element of endurance. It makes the tumbling twice as hard when you dance like this in between. Good news is her teammates are behind her because all she has left is that final tumbling pass.
Very nice.
There it was.
Kennedy Schneider finishes it.
Kennedy Schneider.
We've seen her go through some emotion this year, problems with her music at home against Stanford. She still put together a great routine, even though the music was silent for the first 30 seconds of the routine.
And that's not a routine you want to miss the music
Right.
on it. I mean, I'm up here bebopping too with it.
She is fun to watch. Alex Yacalis, 9.85. Best mark so far on vault for Washington. So, as if Allison Northey needed any help, the scores in front of her have been strong. See if she lets one go.
Beautiful, Yurchenko layout full.
She's ranked 38th in the country on the vault. Again, top 15 in the nation in the all-around, and a threat to win it.
Well, she's got the speed, the power, the rotation. When she lands right here, her legs are pretty straight, so she gets that rebound back. Had she just bent her knees just a little bit, open the arms, and absorb this power right there. That still should be a great score, but that's something I know Allison Northey is good enough to do. Stick that Yurchenko layout full.
She's been killing the vault. She's won 3 of the last 4 meets. That would be quite a feat here at the Pac-12 Championships. Washington last year was 7th. They came in ranked 17th in the country this year. Kraus, 9.825. Not quite a season high for Carissa Kraus, but a very good number at the biggest meet.
Nice ginger for Caitlin Lentz. She transitions down to the low bar. A little short there on her handstand. She sets up for the dismount double layout. Oh, you know, we saw her make that exact same mistake at UCLA, and I thought it was because of the ankle injury that she had, but you have to wonder if she hasn't been training that landing as much because of the sore ankle. Of course, that'll be half a point. I'm sorry.
9.8 for Price. Melissa Schwang. Melissa Schwang has won twice this year on the balance beam, and twice she has gone 9.925 against Stanford's arch rivals, UCLA and Utah.
Beautiful back handspring layout. Step out.
We had mentioned a couple of times today that Stanford coming in with a lot of momentum after a double win over UCLA and Georgia and a 197.4. It was actually the second time this year they'd beaten Georgia. They beat the Gym Dogs in Athens early in the year, and they wrapped up the meet. Remember, road team finishes on beam. Melissa Schwang was up. They needed a big score in front of 10,000 people, and she put up a 9.9.
This has been a great routine. A little moonwalk in there.
Your reaction from that small Stanford contingent at the end of the building. The best beam score so far is a 9.875 by Ivana Hong, her teammate.
And this is going to be close. She held that landing. There really were not a lot of deductions to take throughout that routine. But more importantly, remember that first routine up, Nikki McNair, 8.8. That's the score they need to drop. So at this point, it's not about what they do individually.
Yes.
It's about the team. They need to put up one more solid routine on that event.
Kennedy Schneider goes 9.8. Kristen Howard has a 9.9 this year on floor, and it came last week against BYU. This is just her 6th floor routine of the season.
Opening double pike.
Stayed in.
tumbling pass, beautiful landing on the double tuck.
Best score so far today on the floor, Washington's Zoe Schaefer at 9.85.
Clean finish, front tumbling pass. Nice routine.
That's Kristen Howard.
Kristen Howard was a surprise in the bars lineup to begin the day, went 9.85. Came back on the beam, but had a fall. Northey just went 9.8 for Washington.
Stephanie Stowe.
Stephanie Stowe now to wrap up the rotation. And it's been pretty good. Chance to get better.
Little pike down there on the finish and a step back. At this point, believe the low score is a 9.75.
It's correct by Goings in the leadoff spot. They need to beat that.
It's really going to come down to what the judges take on right there. The pike down, you can see that chest forward when her feet hit the mat. And of course, we know the step is about 1/10.
And let's keep in mind, we keep talking about team scores today. The goal of all of these teams is to qualify for regionals. 36 teams nationwide will qualify. So you need to be in the top 36 in the country. So no defense in gymnastics. What you need to do, Kristen Smith said it to Sam Peshek at the top of our show, all we can do is concentrate on us. Put up your best scores. You just need to get to regionals and then you start over there.
Oh, nice save there. It looked like she came off the bar a little bit early for Justine Callis. You know, she's one of the Arizona State gymnasts we've seen really step up at the beginning of the season. She wasn't in any events. Then we saw her in the balance beam. And then she came back. Also on the bars, we've also seen her competing on floor. And she is doing a phenomenal job.
It's all or nothing for Justine Callis on this event. She just goes for it every time. Nobody gives hugs like Becca Conrad. Holding on for it. Yeah, because she knows the struggle that she's been through, that sometimes it's great, sometimes there's a crash and burn.
I know.
You know, they see each other every day in practice. They know what they go through. Schwang 9.925. That is a new leader on the beam. Rachel Dahm, anchor spot.
Well, and at this point, she needs to build off that momentum.
Low score for Stanford on the beam is Taylor Rice's 9.75. Excuse me, Nikki McNair had the fall at the top. So they need to be clean here. They need a good score.
Rachel, one of the Stanford athletes that has come back from injuries. She had a wrist injury. And she's slowly added in different events, gaining confidence every competition. At Arizona, we saw her struggle on this event. But so far, this routine has been solid.
Rachel won the beam at Oregon State and put up a career high at UCLA, 9.925.
Combination to the side aerial, great save there. It looked like when she landed, she bent her knees to hold on to it. All she needs is a clean landing. 1.5 twist, stayed on her feet, and just saved Stanford from counting that fall.
Absolutely. That is the third time today we have seen Stanford overcome a problem.
Well, and
every rotation they've come back.
It could have been a problem right here. Combination to the side aerial, and when she lands, look at that first foot, completely off the beam, and knew exactly what to do to stay on.
And just to show you the grit that Stanford possesses, all of their mistakes have come early in rotations, putting all that pressure on the back end. On the vault, it was the second spot. On the bars, the first. On the beam, the first. And yet they've survived, and they still lead. Back-to-back 9.8s for Schneider and Howard. And here is Jessie Sisler. Jessie Sisler, the defending floor champion at the Pac-12 Championships. She tied last year with Utah's Georgia DeBritz and UCLA's Sam Peshek.
Front 1.5 to the layout step out, close to the out of bounds, but stayed in.
She's always better than 9.8, has reached 9.9 3 times.
Beautiful double pike there, clean landing. Her team rocking out here. She sets up for the third pass. Double full combination to that punch front. You talked about her beautiful long legs on balance beams. She showcases them on floor also. But she was clean and powerful all at the same time. Beautiful routine.
9.85 is the number to beat on floor. Zoe Schaefer from Washington. Jessie Sisler just had a 9.85 on beam, trying to defend her championship on floor. Sure, in with a smile. That was good work. We are through 3 rotations in session 1. Stanford, Arizona, Washington, and Arizona State. We move to the 4th and final rotation. We come back to UW on the Pac-12 Network. Once again, Washington puts up a 49 on vault. They have now done that in 6 out of the last 7 meets. Right now, Washington is currently in 3rd place. In this, the first session of the Pac-12 Championships, you see their totals. And the high score was the 9.85 by Alex Chikalis.
Well, they continued to build in this rotation. Her power, height, form in the air, and a clean landing gives you a great view of the Yurchenko full. Very important you stay right behind that table. And then Allison Northey, their lone senior, actually had, in my opinion, a better vault, but then she had a hop on the landing. So I know as they go into postseason, both of these athletes will spend time right there focusing on absorbing that power and sticking that landing, but they're very pleased, I'm sure, with that rotation and those scores.
Allison Northey from Sammamish, which is just across the lake from the University of Washington here in the Montlake District. She likes the beam, so you know there's something wrong with her, but she's also a biology major. And Allison Northey is one of those people who've just gotten better. One of those gymnasts who came in very good and has added to it. She's in the top 50 on 3 events. Her weakest event is bars, and she's still 69th in the country. And she has led this charge for Washington. They've gone 196 in 5 of their last 6 to close the regular season. Joanne Bowers told us at the beginning of the season that the Gym Dogs had something special brewing. Joanne is with Sam Peshek.
Hi, I'm with head coach Joanne Bowers, and unfortunately you had to count a fall early on, but you rallied very well and you've been improving all season long. How difficult is it to get your team to peak during the postseason?
Well, trying to keep them healthy all season and then peak right at the right time for postseason is always the challenge every year. And our team has done a great job in the last month of settling in, hitting their routines, and feeling really good about where we are. We practiced this week on the wait time that this Pac-12 championship is, because we're not used to waiting that long. And I think starting on beam, which is usually our strongest event, starting with a freshman, the nerves got to us, and I think we saw that we were holding back a little instead of attacking it, and it's kind of like, nope, we can't do that. We still got to attack, we still got to go big. And the way we ended our beam rotation and the way we've continued this meet, I'm thrilled. So we need to finish strong on bars now, but the beginning got us a little bit. But I'm really excited about this group.
You live and you learn, and hopefully it's going to go better next time. Thank you so much for your time.
And Joanne is absolutely right. After going 48.250 on beam, they have come back on both floor and vault to post scores on the other side of 49. Stanford leading after 3 rotations. 147, 150, and Stanford finishes on the floor. It is technically Stanford's weakest event, but they have gone 49 in 4 out of the last 8. Stanford trying to wrap up session 1. Arizona will be on the vaults in the 4th rotation, and the Gym Cats right now trail Stanford by .525. It is possible for them to rally here, but they've only gone 49 2 times this year. The good news for John Court, the assistant coach, and Arizona, is that one of those 49s just came last week against BYU. It was their season high, 49-175. Arizona is a work in progress, and we talked early in the year about Tabitha Yim, David McCreary, new in Tucson, but John Court, you just saw him there with the team in the huddle, is in his 18th season. So he's kind of that pillar that has kept that whole thing together. There's Big John walking into your shot. And Arizona is going to be a fun team to watch, not just this year, but I think they're a team of the future, and Tabitha Yim has already put her signature on it. Now, Arizona needs to qualify for the regionals. And to do that, they need a big rotation on vault.
Starting Yurchenko full.
Gabby Lobb.
The question for Arizona on this event is going to come down to the landings. They have great vaults. It's going to come down to how much deduction happens on the landing of those vaults.
Washington currently in 3rd place in this session. And the Gym Dogs on bars to finish their program.
Well, and Jocelyn Goings has led off 3 of the events. She was the leadoff on floor, the leadoff on vault, and now the uneven bars. That says a lot about her, because that leadoff person has to not just be a great routine for you, it has to be somebody who's consistent.
Washington just posted its season high on this event, 49-175. They beat number 10 Denver right here last week. There you go.
And a beautiful routine for her. Great start. What a meet for this young lady. Solid across the board, all 4 events. And more importantly, a great leader for this team. We talk about Allison Northey. She does a lot of anchoring. Well, Jocelyn Goings, she's their leadoff. And boy, did she do her job today. Full twisting double back there, stuck the landing. This should be a great start for their final rotation.
Goings had a 9.85 on beam, a 9.7 on floor in the leadoff spot. She also led off on vault with a 9.75. Very good afternoon. Waiting for that score. Allie Salas. Well, when you have 6 freshmen in your lineup and you go to the beam, you look for a senior, don't you?
That's right. Always a tough event for anybody, but when you have that many freshmen in your lineup, you really need your seniors to pull through, stay calm.
Come on, Al!
Starting the routine, back handspring layout, step out. And that's a great example. It wasn't dead straight, and yet she stayed calm, snapped her arms down, and stayed on the beam.
Amanda said it before, seniors react differently when they have trouble. They don't panic. They just save it.
That's hard to do on the balance beam. It is 4 inches wide. You can feel the mistake well before it actually happens. And so it is all about staying calm. I always tell the gymnast I coach, balance beam is about staying on when you're not perfect.
You can do this! Let's go, Al! Get it!
Oh. Punch front. Tough part with those blind landings on the balance beam. You don't know that problem is coming until your feet hit the beam. It looked like that one foot was completely off the side of the beam.
And you could see her recollect right there. She took a moment to herself, took a deep breath, because she knows she's still got to finish it.
And she has to have a good attitude as she goes back to the huddle, because there are 5 more athletes to go. She needs them to step up right now also.
Good dismount, but the pensive look on her face.
Well, punch front, it's a blind landing, so watch her feet when they land. That left foot, the ball of her foot went off, and then the entire foot went off, and unfortunately, with it being a blind landing, it is so difficult to be able to compensate. It's not one of those elements that you can work your way back on the beam. Unfortunately, when you're off on that skill, you're off.
Oh, it's so frustrating. She didn't miss it by much.
It doesn't take much, unfortunately, on the balance beam.
Stanford begins with Jenna Froen on the floor. Froen, a floor specialist. her only event.
And remember, she's waited the entire meet. So she warmed up and then had to go through 3 other events, and now this is her moment. Great double pike to start.
Yeah, and that tumbling pass has given her trouble in the past. I didn't want to say it until after.
Me too.
Yeah.
We've seen her over-rotate, go out of bounds.
She's a senior. It's her finale in the Pac-12. You want to see her go out strong. So
Nice
far,
save
so good.
there, yeah. Looked like she was coming up a little bit short on that front full.
And she is tall for a gymnast at 5'6". Senior from Kaneohe, Hawaii. One more. You can see her say it.
1.5 twist to the pike.
There
sticks
you
the
go.
landing.
Nice moment for Jennifer Owen.
And a good start for Stanford. Remember, on both bars and balance beam, their first routines up had major mistakes, and then they had to rally. Hopefully, this event, they'll build from here. This is the pass. We didn't want to say anything, but she's had some struggles.
Yes.
And beautiful. She was so confident. She opened at the exact right time. Snapped those arms up to the lunge.
Neil Gallant, the assistant coach in the background, just right away took that deep breath just like we did, and the hands went together. He just applauded the effort. Lauren Matson on the vault for Arizona.
Beautiful Arabian. That vault does start from a 10.0 because it's a much more difficult landing. The forward landing challenges the athlete to know exactly where they are in the air. She did a nice job.
She's won this event, and she had a 9.85 last week against BYU. I always like to watch those athletes that are peaking at the end of the season. If you get into regionals, they become super dangerous. Goings, 9.775. Haley Burleson. Burleson's best effort today came on the vault, a 9.825.
She has a nice long line, good amplitude there on her Tkachev. Releasing to the low bar. Nice form. Combination here at the end of the routine, giant full double tuck.
Oh, that might be a season best. Well, the number for her so far, 9.825, is the high water mark. I think that's got to be above that.
Well, that was a beautiful routine. We talk about her long lines, and she really showcases them on the uneven bars, hitting those handstands, gluing those feet together. Proud moment.
Elizabeth Ray, the associate head coach. That final hug, bronze medalist from the 2000 Olympics. Justine Callis for Arizona State on the balance beam.
She started the season doing 2 back handsprings to that layout, took it out. She looked confident there.
Her best is a 9.75 against UCLA.
Combination. Talked about her on bars at the beginning of the season. She really wasn't in any of the lineups. Not only did she step into the lineup, she has gained confidence, and this has been an outstanding routine. She has just the dismount, Great save, side aerial to that layout full. She's completely on the left side of the mat because the side aerial went around the side. Wow, great finish.
She had a 9.65 earlier on bars. That's going to be a better score there. You got to feel for Arizona State with the issues and the injuries that they've had this year, and they have kept it together and stayed positive. Rowan, 9.7. I thought she deserved a little better than that. Melissa Schwang now. Her best is a 9.825, but remember, Stanford is leading and now just trying to put up its best score. Then they'll have to sit back tonight and for 3 hours watch 4 teams take a shot at the title.
Good save there. It looked like her legs started to buckle just a little bit. Stepped right back into the corner. Perfect positioning.
Melissa's scores on the floor have fluctuated wildly this year. Her best is a 9.825.
Nice front 1.5 twist. One more tumbling pass. Nice finish. Back 1.5 twist to that front layout.
Melissa Schwang, senior from Cupertino in California. She didn't compete at all last year, had an ACL. She began her career at the very beginning, born in Stanford Hospital. Lauren Matson, 9.8. And here's Jessie Sisler, final appearance today. Sisler season high on vaults. Last week, 9.85.
Beautiful.
Sure was.
I mentioned that this Arizona team has strong vaults, and it really comes down to the landings, and I think they've spent a lot of time working this position right here. Chest has to be up enough that you're not going to get the chest down deduction, but then you also have to be able to control that power by positioning your body right over your feet.
To the bars where Burr just put up the 9.825. Jessica Nessis, first time today, right?
Yes. An important routine.
And normally her only routine of the day. 9.85 in the last meet here against Denver 1 week ago.
Wow. That release move was just a little bit too far, but she overreached, was able to catch and hang on. Finishing double layout.
Junior from Bellevue, right across the lake.
You know, I competed this. I can tell you, she came off the bar just a little early. Watch this. Watch how far she extends as she catches. Right here.
Go get it.
Oh, and the dowels are right on
Fingertip.
top of the bar. That is very risky. Anytime that dowel does not come a little bit over the top of the bar, you can slip off, but she did a full extension, good grip, and a nice routine.
Next up on the balance.
9.6 for Callis. Udowich. She's been up on everything today. 9.75 on floor. 9.525 on vault.
This is the event, though,
on bars.
that she has really stood out for this Arizona State team. Small balance check there.
And again, one of those freshmen that maybe not going to make headlines outside of Tempe this year, but all this experience is just going to snowball for her over the next 3 years.
Repeating that front aerial because she's using it for that combination.
She's had a ton of scores in the 9.7s, had a 9.8 at Auburn. But for a freshman, I think 9.7s are pretty good on beam when you can repeat it time and time again. What does Greg Marsden always say? When we ask him, do you want somebody who can go 9.95 once in a while, or somebody who goes 9.8 every night? And he always says, I want somebody who can stay on the beam.
That's right. That's the most difficult part about the balance beam. And we've talked about it all season long with this Arizona State team. I'm excited to see what they're going to do in the next few years because of the youth of this team. They're handling the moments. They put up some routines that maybe aren't their best, but they're rebounding. They're showing that they're resilient, and that was a solid routine for Heather. And the most important thing for freshmen is experience. Absolutely. We talk about the difference between the freshmen and the seniors.
9.7 for Froen, 9.8 for Schwang. Rachel Dahm. Rachel Dahm has a season high on floor of 9.825.
Nice start.
Dahm just anchored the beam lineup with a 9.75. And again, Stanford is protecting a lead. But they can't be conservative. They've got to continue to pump that number.
Yeah,
later
we've
tonight,
seen them.
Utah, UCLA, California, Oregon State, all capable of putting up 197s, maybe a 198.
Well, I think the story with Stanford today is that they've had major mistakes on the events, and that tends to make you hold back. It's hard to go big knowing that you have no room for error, and so far in this rotation, they look much more confident. Seems to be building every single routine.
They've had a mistake in each rotation, dropped that score, got 5 others, and survived. Stanford went over 49 on beam, over 49 on bars. It's their vault score that might hinder their chances tonight, 48.850.
Strong finish there. Nice routine.
Rachel Dahm, the junior from Katy, Texas, outside of Houston. They need every point. They need every 10. Back-to-back 9.8s for Matson and Sisler. Shelby Edwards.
Shelby has an outstanding vault. She is very powerful and very quick.
And back in 2014, she won the Pac-12 Championship, a co-champion on this event.
All about the landing. That was a pretty good one for her.
Her best this year is a 9.85, and that too came just last week against BYU.
She turns just a little bit early, so her feet separate right there. We get to see it slow motion, so the judges, it's very quick to the eye, but it was a clean landing, and she's so fun to watch. The coaches describe her as a ball of energy, and you can feel it. She walks into this building, she lights up the place, and just has a blast.
9.75 for Nessus. Zoe Schaefer, who right now still has the high score on the floor at 9.85.
A little short there on that handstand into the combination. Nice recovery on the Tkachev.
And a tough event for her this year, only 2 scores above 9.8.
With the small details like hitting the handstands, that one was better there. She wraps up the routine with a double layout, small hop.
Just a bump there. The kid has been through a lot and come back from it. She still has 2 years in front of her. 9.8 for Udowich. That's a career high for Udowich, that 9.8. Good for her in the biggest meet. Corinne Belkoff has a best of 9.8 this year on beam against California. But none of her other scores have been higher than 9.725. Still learning, toughest event collegiate gymnastics.
Triple series. Oh. 2 back handsprings to that layout step out. I think she knew before she even landed. Her first foot hit, and she almost didn't even finish that landing. Remember, senior Allie Salas also had a fall at the beginning of this rotation.
Yeah, so they're either going to have to count Salas's 9.125 or the score that Belkoff gets.
Nice combination to that back handspring swing down.
Well, you see these freshmen and they go through these struggles on such a public stage. Don't you just want to go down there and hug them and say, it's going to be better?
I do,
this is going to help you.
You know, I was not on this stage as a collegiate gymnast, but, you know, looking back now, you realize that everything happens for a reason, and you learn and get better from the mistakes. You know, I said, if you came out and competed perfect your first year, what would you have to work on?
That's right.
You know, so I think there's a lot of potential for these athletes, and while that's a disappointing performance for Corinne, I think that she will definitely come back as a sophomore and be ready to help lead this team.
And we should point out that Corinne Belkoff is in the Barrett Honors College at Arizona State. That's the best of the best. And she has the best GPA on the team at 3.93. Taylor Rice, by the way, is a 2-time Pac-12 All-Academic honoree as well.
When you think of Taylor Rice, you think of lots of personality, and you get to see that in this floor routine.
I like watching her perform.
Opening double pike, just that little slide back there on the landing.
Taylor Rice is just a go-for-it kid, right? Grew up in a gym in Vegas. Her parents, Mike and Cassie, own a Gym Cats.
Yeah, she's an aggressive competitor, and typically the mistakes that she has are just a little too much power, a little too much speed.
She came into this meet with 150 career events, by far the most on the roster.
You know, we've seen her struggle on this event with the over-rotating and, of course, that one under-rotating. Looks like she just didn't have enough height, enough rotation to pull that double tuck. You know, this is typically an endurance issue. See, her arms didn't get up all the way, so just not enough height. And this landing is never fun. She's totally fine, but that definitely crunches the ankle, especially as a senior. Their bodies have been doing this for a very long time.
And sometimes the only thing that makes you feel better is a joke from a teammate. Well, they've been through an awful lot together, Price and Rice. Edwards 9.825. Maddie Cindric has put up a 9.775. The leadoff spot on the floor. Now moves to vault.
Holding on to that landing.
Got up on the toes.
Looked like she was a little off center on the mat, kind of leaning that direction as she landed.
She's won once on vault this year, and her season high is a 9.85. She's going to get marked down for the step. Zoe Schaefer, 9.725 on bars. And here is Allison Northey.
Mounting right to the high bar.
Northey has 2 9.8s already and a 9.85.
Nice combination, Jaeger.
She needs a 9.9 for the all-around.
All that's left is her dismount, full twisting double back. Oh, boy, you know, it looked like she had it. She was kind of lacking a little rotation, so when she came down, it looked like her chest was forward and her legs were stiff. Little off balance, but a great meet for her today.
this event has been her biggest challenge this year.
Yeah, right there. She was lacking rotation. See, when she landed, her legs were pretty straight, and that chest jarred down, and of course, had to take the hop to the left.
Final meet at home, so I guess it's senior day for Allison Northey. Taylor Alex is now waiting.
Next up on the balance beam for Arizona State, Taylor Alex.
We're going to have to count that 9.125 now.
We're used to seeing Taylor Alex on floor and vault where she stands out. She is amazing at this event. Also, one of those very powerful gymnasts. She has to control her speed right here on this tumbling pass. Deep breath, she needs to settle in right there. Ugh. So now Arizona State counting 2 falls in the spinal rotation. Nice amplitude on her kick over front. Dismounting front 1.5 twist.
That's a tough way for her to finish her day. She's been a lot of fun to watch this year.
We can see the power and speed that she brings, and that's an unfortunate performance, but like I mentioned, she, like some of the other athletes on that team, jumped into the balance beam lineup because they needed her. They were short-manned, and she stepped up.
Stanford is trying to hold off Arizona here and win session 1. Elizabeth Price, 22nd in the country on floor. 4 wins this year, and 3 times has gone 9.925.
Well, this first tumbling pass is one that catches our eye every single time. Huge double layout. She lands it just about perfect. I remember at the beginning of the season, I go down and I talk to Evie, and I'm expecting her to be like 5'10" because her gymnastics seems so huge, and then I'm like, wait a second, she's shorter than me. She is just packed with power.
Even the fans know her routine. Wow, it's like Velcro. They need this. Elizabeth Price for Stanford.
Well, she is one of my favorites to watch because of that level of difficulty and power. She makes it look so easy. I talked about her being a high-level elite gymnast. Some of this, while difficult in the collegiate world, very easy for her. Look at this double layout, big amplitude, gets that chest up, big smile. It's been fun to watch her transition into this Stanford team and really grow this year as a second year.
9.9 on the vault, 9.9 on the bars, 9.8 on the beam. Allison Northey is leading in the all-around, 39.225. We wait for the score on Elizabeth Price. Back to the vault, Skylar Shepard.
Oh, great vault. Janko Arabian, just a little too much height, a little too much rotation, took that big step forward. At this point, they're looking to throw out that 9.65 So it's really going to come down to what the judges take on that landing.
And vault is still a new event for Skylar Shepard. Normally on beam, sometimes on floor. Caitlin Duranchik to wrap up the meet for the home team. This is Duranchik's event. Ranked 21st in the country, 6 victories, and 3 times has gone 9-9.
Well, nice start to this routine, nailing every single handstand.
She's won this event 4 straight meets. Best score so far, the 9-9 by Price. And it's going to be close. Caitlin Duranchik.
So fun to watch when the athletes nail their best routine in the right moment. That was a definite stick.
She's been there for her teammates all day long, and that was her moment. Now she's got to wait for the score. Again, she's shooting for Price at 9-9. Becca Conrad. Final performance for Arizona State. And not just today, but if they don't qualify for regionals, this is where their season comes to an end.
Handspring layout, step out, beautiful amplitude. Confident landing, little personality there. Solid combination, finishing in that back tuck. Nice save there on that side semi. Chest was forward just a little bit. All that's left is the dismount. Front layout full and a great routine for Becca. That was a rough rotation for Arizona State. They had to count 2 falls, but good for her.
Another nice personal moment. There's so many stories on this floor. Everybody's had their own journey. Haley Spector has been sitting around for 2.5 hours, and now she is the anchor on floor. Stanford only needs a 9-2 to win this session.
She can put up a big number. She has this difficult first tumbling pass. And remember, it's not just about this first session. They want to put up the biggest score they can. The score they can drop out right now is a 9.15. Oh, she played it safe there going with the double pike. She usually opens with the double Arabian.
She has a win on floor this year, and you and I saw it. It was in Tucson against the Cats, 9.925.
Finishing double tuck. Taylor Rice has that 9.15. That's definitely going to beat it.
Good job by Haley Spector. It looks like she may have just wrapped up the morning session for the Stanford Cardinal. And now they will watch the 4 tonight take a shot. Top team wins the Pac-12 title. We'll add up the scores from session 1 inside Alaska Airlines Arena on campus at UW. and live on the Pac-12 network. Stanford has won the Pac-12 Gymnastics Championships 5 times, the last coming in 2008, also held here in Seattle. Halfway through, Elizabeth Price has the highest vault score, the highest floor score, and the highest all-around score at 39.475. Elizabeth Price is ranked 3rd in the nation in the all-around, and right now she's down on the floor with Sam Peshek.
Congratulations on such a great day. Unfortunately, your team had a few mistakes on the event, but you were solid. How difficult is it for you to do your job knowing you have to hit?
I mean, no matter what happens before me, my main goal is to just go out there and do the best I can do, whether or not I have to get someone's back or just everyone's hit and I'm just adding another great score. I mean, I just try to go out there, look back on my consistency in the gym and just try to act like it's just another routine.
Not just today, but you've been consistent all season long. How do you train your mind to be great every single weekend?
It's difficult going meet after meet after meet every weekend, but I just try to tell myself to stay calm, pretend you're in the gym. When we do pressure sets in the gym, my teammates have my back, so it's definitely the same atmosphere no matter where we are. I definitely have their support. It's difficult, but I mean, I've been doing gymnastics a long time, so it's not too bad.
Well, you were so much fun to watch, and good luck for the rest of postseason.
Thanks.
Elizabeth Price, sophomore for Stanford with 39 career wins. 26 have come this year, and right now she is the leader in the clubhouse on both the vault and floor as well as the all-around. But the best score of the day for Stanford was Melissa Schwang on the beam with a 9.925. That's our pure silk pursuit of perfection. Amanda, this is the 3rd time this year that Melissa has got 9.925 on beam.
Well, it was beautiful. Routine, this is
Great
going to be
skills.
close. She held that landing. And it was important because, remember, early on in the lineup, there was an 8.8 by Nikki McNair. So not only was it a big score, it was a great rebound.
So Stanford wins the morning session. Arizona 2nd, Washington 3rd, and Arizona State 4th. These 4 are finished. Clock. It's Oregon State, California, UCLA, and Utah. Session 2 of the Pac-12 Gymnastics Championships. For Amanda Borden and Sam Peshek, I'm Jim here at dinner time, 6 o'clock, and session 2.